Let's get right into it. Number 10. Driving a manual car. Driving used to be like performing a complex dance routine. You had 3 pedals, a stick shift, and if you messed up the timing, your car would make sounds like it was dying. In 1980, about 35% of cars in America came with manual transmissions. Today, it's less than 1%. Finding someone under 25 who can drive stick is like finding someone who knows how to use a rotary phone. The skill is vanishing faster than your car's value after you drive it off the lot. Driving schools are dropping manual training because nobody's asking for it anymore. It's so rare now that some car thieves have abandoned stolen cars because they couldn't figure out the stick shift. These wannabe criminals just sit there, probably Googling what is this third pedal for, while the police show up. We're probably the last generation that will even need to learn this skill. With self-driving cars coming, even automatic driving might become as outdated as churning your own butter. Soon, telling your grandkids you used to manually change gears will be like your grandparents telling you they used to ride horses to school. They'll look at you like you're describing some ancient ritual, probably thinking, "Sure, Grandpa, next you'll tell me you had to actually steer the car yourself too." Number 9. Handwriting legibility. Our handwriting has gotten so bad that most of us can't even read our own notes from last month. You squint at it, turn it sideways, maybe even hold it up to a mirror. Is it buy milk or summon ball? Could be either one. Studies show that kids today spend 70% less time practicing handwriting than their parents did. We're just tapping away at screens instead of carefully crafting letters. But handwriting isn't just about making pretty letters. When you write by hand, your brain activates regions that typing doesn't touch. These areas help with memory, learning, and even creativity. Scientists had people learn new characters. One group wrote them by hand, the other typed them. Later, they put these people in an MRI machine and showed them the characters. The handwriter's brains lit up like a Christmas tree. The typer's brains barely reacted at all. Some schools are dropping cursive writing completely. Future generations won't even be able to read their great-grandparents' love letters. Number 8. Sewing on a button. Our great-grandparents would probably disown us if they saw how many perfectly good shirts we throw away just because of a missing button. Back in their day, losing a button wasn't a clothing death sentence. It was just a minor inconvenience. But nowadays, most of us treat a fallen button like it's a complex engineering problem. This is a skill so basic that people used to learn it before they learned to write. Yet here we are, watching YouTube tutorials on how to thread a needle. Most of us can't even find a needle and thread in our homes. We've got $1,000 phones but no $2 sewing kit. A lot of people just use safety pins as a temporary solution. And by temporary, I mean until the shirt eventually gets thrown away. It's like using duct tape to fix a cracked phone screen and calling it new. The average person throws away about 70 pounds of clothing every year. A significant portion of that is because of simple fixes they couldn't do. It's gotten so bad that some schools are actually bringing back sewing classes. Schools are having to teach teenagers something their 10-year-old great-grandparents could do blindfolded. Number 7. Map orientation. Hand someone under 25 a paper map today, and they'll probably try to zoom in with their fingers. We used to have this built-in ability to match the flat paper world with the real world around us. People would look at landmarks, check the sun's position, and rotate the map until everything lined up. Now most of us just wait for that little blue dot to tell us where we are. Scientists actually studied this. They found that regular GPS use literally shrinks the part of your brain responsible for navigation. It's called the hippocampus, and it's basically your internal GPS. The less you use it, the more it shrivels up. London taxi drivers had to memorize 25,000 streets, and their hippocampus would actually grow larger. Meanwhile, we get lost going to our friend's house if our phone dies. Number 6. Intuitive cooking. Your grandma could just throw stuff in a pot and create magic. No measuring cups, no timers, just pure kitchen instinct. These days, most of us are like lost puppies without our phones telling us exactly what to do. Add precisely 1.5 tablespoons of salt has replaced season until it feels right. Recipe videos have turned cooking into a weird math problem. If you add 0.1 grams too much garlic powder, your dish will explode. Our ancestors would laugh at us, standing in the kitchen with our digital thermometers, trying to get the chicken to exactly 165 degrees. They just knew when meat was done by poking it with a finger. Tasting while cooking is becoming as rare as a properly seasoned meal in a college dorm. Everyone's so scared of getting the measurements wrong that they won't even taste their food until it's done. It's like building IKEA furniture, but with food. Following instructions blindly and hoping it doesn't fall apart when you're done. Our great-grandparents could smell a soup and know exactly what it needed, Meanwhile, we're out here panic texting our moms asking if the pasta is supposed to be this color. Number 5. Remembering phone numbers. Back in the 90s, the average person could recall at least 10 to 15 phone numbers by heart. Now studies show most people under 30 can only remember about 2 to 3 numbers, and one of those is usually their own. Your brain used to work overtime memorizing those digits. It was like having a combination lock for every person you knew. Now we're one dead phone battery away from being completely alone. When people are asked to write down their parents' phone number, they often have to mime typing it on an imaginary phone keypad. Their fingers remember the pattern, but their brain forgot the actual numbers. We've outsourced our memory to our phones. We've turned our brains from a storage unit into a TV remote that just points to where the information is stored. And this isn't just about phone numbers. Scientists say this is changing how our brains store information in general. We're getting worse at remembering specific details, because we know we can just Google it later. Number 4. Spelling without autocorrect. Take away someone's autocorrect, and suddenly definitely becomes defiantly, and necessary looks like someone had a seizure on the keyboard. Scientists found that people under 30 are way worse at spelling than their parents were at the same age. Our brains have basically outsourced the spelling department to our phones. It's like having a really smart friend do your homework. Eventually, you forget how to do it yourself. In a recent study, 83% of people admitted they couldn't spell accommodation without help. This is actually changing how our brains work. We're not memorizing spellings anymore. We're memorizing keyboard patterns. You might not know how to spell pneumonia, but your fingers remember the general area to mash until the right word appears. And autocorrect can't save you with there, and there if you don't know which one to use in the first place. Number 3. Discomfort tolerance. Our ancestors were practically immune to discomfort. These folks would trek through snowstorms just to get dinner. They'd spend days tracking animals in the scorching heat. No AC, no ice-cold drinks, just pure human determination, and a whole lot of sweating. Today we lose our minds when the Wi-Fi drops for 30 seconds. Our thermostats are set to exactly 72 degrees, and if it hits 73, suddenly we're literally dying. This loss of discomfort tolerance isn't just making us wimpy, it's actually making us sick. Scientists found that people who regularly expose themselves to mild discomfort, like cold showers or temporary hunger, have stronger immune systems. They also handle stress better and are less likely to get anxiety or depression. But instead of building this tolerance, we're doing the opposite. We're creating perfect little comfort bubbles around ourselves. Got a slight headache? Pop a pill. Feeling a bit chilly? Crank up the heat. Slightly hungry? Better eat right now before you start feeling hangry. It's like we're turning into those fancy houseplants that die if you water them 3 minutes late. Some scientists think this might be why we're seeing such a huge rise in anxiety disorders. When you never learn to handle small discomforts, everything becomes overwhelming. A century ago, people would laugh if you told them you were stressed because your phone battery was at 20%. Now that's a legitimate source of anxiety for many people. Number 2, star navigation. Imagine being dropped in the middle of nowhere at night with no phone, no GPS, just you and the sky above. Your ancestors would have been fine. They'd look up, find the North Star, and be home in time for whatever people ate before pizza was invented. You would probably become the next Blair Witch Project. Our ancestors were basically walking GPSs. They could look at tiny dots of light millions of miles away and figure out not just which way was north, but their exact location on Earth. They crossed entire oceans using nothing but stars and some basic math. Meanwhile, most of us get lost in IKEA with our phones at 100% battery. We're not just forgetting how to navigate by stars, we're literally losing the ability to see them. Light pollution has gotten so bad that about 80% of Americans can't see the Milky Way anymore. Most people have never actually seen our own galaxy. We're living on a tiny rock in space, but we can't even see our cosmic neighborhood because we've built a light-powered blanket fort over our cities. Star navigation kept your brain sharp. It required memory, spatial awareness, and the ability to think in 3 dimensions. Now we just follow a blue dot on a screen and get angry when it tells us to turn right into a lake. If something ever happened to our satellites, like a solar flare, we'd be completely lost. Our ancestors could find their way across continents. We can barely find our way to that new restaurant downtown without Siri holding our hand. Number 1. Deep reading. Scientists have found something disturbing. Our brains are literally being rewired to skim. The average person now switches tasks every 45 seconds when they're on their computer. That's less time than it takes to microwave a burrito. This constant task switching is actually changing how our brains work. We're training our brains to be distracted. It's like having a puppy that can't sit still, except the puppy is your mind, and it's constantly chasing after digital squirrels. Studies show that people who grew up with smartphones actually process information differently than older generations. They're better at finding quick answers, but worse at understanding complex ideas. Most people don't actually read long articles online anymore. They just scan the headings and look for the good parts. You probably opened another tab halfway through the last article you tried to read. We have access to more knowledge than any humans in history, but we're losing the ability to actually absorb any of it. It's like having an all-you-can-eat buffet but only being able to eat crumbs. Some universities are now offering deep reading classes. We've gotten so bad at focusing that we need to be taught how to read books again. We're paying thousands of dollars to learn what our grandparents could do naturally. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.